Hello everyone, welcome back to Triad Travelogues. I am Richard, and I'm coming at you today from the outskirts of Shanghai, China. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about how to completely evade all of your life's responsibilities. I'm talking about wiping the slate clean. You got debt? Are you in a relationship that demands too much emotional support and stability? Do you have a mortgage that you just can't pay? A boss that you just don't like? Would you like to get rid of your siblings? Maybe your mom and your dad really piss you off. Maybe you owe somebody or a lot of people a lot of money. Would you like to be able to hit the erase button like a Nintendo game? You know how you can turn remember the original NES system like in 1987 or whatever, and you could just, if you wanted to, you could just restart the game, you just turn it off and take the cartridge out and blow on it a little bit and slam it onto the ground and stick it back in the Nintendo and turn it back on, and the game was reset. You know, you remember the game The Lion King on the Sega Genesis? God, that game was difficult, wasn't it? I feel like I just went off on a really unnecessary tangent, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, the point is, look, you want to get rid of your responsibilities. I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you right now how to do that, okay? I did it, and I'm going to teach you how to do it too. It's really easy, okay? You get rid of your responsibility. Look, you live in the United States of America like I did. I'm a United States citizen. I was born and raised close to Dallas, Texas. And when I was 30 years old, I had too many responsibilities and stuff I didn't want to do, like life stuff. I had a job that I didn't like, several jobs that I didn't like. I was in a relationship that required too much. And I owed money to people, and so, hey, I was just like, look, you know what? I turned 30 years old, and I decided, you know, I need to fix my life. I need to fix all these problems. And then I was like, nah, screw that, I'll just run away. So I did, I ran away. I left the United States of America, I got on a plane, and I traveled to Asia. And that's how I got rid of all of my life's responsibilities. And now I'm living in Shanghai, China. So look, you know what? I'm going to tell you how to do this. I'm going to tell you how to do what I did, okay? I mean, look how beautiful this place is. Look. Oh, yeah. It's just, oh my God. Oh my God, look at that. It's absolutely incredible. I'm living in such a beautiful place. It's such an upgrade from my old life. Okay, so this is what I did, okay? I went to like, you know, the airline website. I think it was Expedia, and I sold my car, and I took that money from selling my car, like, which was the last physical possession that I had, and I came to China. This was after I spent a long time in Kathmandu, Nepal. I told a lot of this story in one of my other videos. Actually, one of my most popular videos. It's called Why I Chose to Leave America and Move to China. And I had this really optimistic message. You know, it's like a motivational video. It's like, don't let anyone tell you what to do or what not to do. Do whatever you want. Travel the world and be happy. That was my message. I was in a really optimistic mood that day, and that was like 2 years ago. And I don't know, things were a little bit different then, I guess. So this is my rebuttal to my own video. Kind of, sort of. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Man, those tangents. Just going off on so many terrible tangents. Okay, so I went to like Expedia or whatever. I sold my car. I took the money that I got from selling my Toyota Corolla, and I bought a plane ticket and came to Shanghai, China, with the hope of just escaping from all of my problems. Debt and emotional connections to people and stupid stuff like that. I mean, who needs any of that kind of stuff, right? So I came to China, and I was really inspired by the book Into the Wild. True story, you know, about a dude who was like basically like screw the system and screw capitalism and just screw society. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna live in the woods. I'm gonna hitchhike around the States and just, you know, I'm not gonna play by anybody else's rules. I'm not gonna play anybody else's games. And that man died in the woods in Alaska. He starved to death in a van by himself. And you know, the very last thing, well, maybe one of the last things that he wrote down, I believe he either wrote it on the van that he died in, or he wrote it in a book that was in that van. And it was something to the effect of, happiness is only real if it's shared. Happiness is only real if it's shared. So it's kind of like his whole thing, you know, like leaving society and being alone and being a solitary traveler. That whole thing was like sort of reversed when he realized that he was dying. He's like, oh no, that is not good. I'm about to die. Maybe I should have lived my life differently. Anyway, so I'm gonna go back to my story. Oh, listen to this. Listen to this. You hear this? I don't know what that guy's saying. It sounds like he's saying tomato and then some Chinese stuff, but my wife told me he's not saying tomato. But the point is, that guy, he just screams the same thing over and over and over again. Like, they record like, I don't know, oh, get out of my way, Jesus. They record like 30 seconds of just someone screaming the same thing over and over again, and they put it on repeat and they hook it up to a bullhorn. So it's like, rah, 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 rah. Oh, tomato, blah, 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 tomato, blah, blah, blah. And he sounds like, I don't know, he sounds really angry about the tomato. But he's not actually saying tomato. I just don't know how to speak Chinese. So when you don't know how to speak a language and you hear people talking in that language, your brain takes the words that they say and it like tries to shape them into things that it's familiar with. So if someone says something that sounds kind of similar to tomato, you're gonna be like, oh, he's talking about tomatoes. Anyway, where was I? Was I talking about Jack London? I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, so I left America. I wanted to get rid of all my responsibilities. I came to China and I was like, yes, I'm free of all those terrible things. Like money, I didn't have any money. Relationships, I didn't have any friends. You know, I had nothing. And I came to China and I felt free in China. I felt free in China. And so for like 3 months, my first 3 months here, I just partied. Okay, in Shanghai, I'm in Shanghai, and I'm kind of on the outskirts of Shanghai. I'm pretty sure I said that at the beginning of this video. I say that at the beginning of all of my videos. But if you go into the city, there are clubs there that are open, like they open at like 9 p.m. They open late into the, you know, in the night, and then they stay open until like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. So when you leave the club, it's light out. It's a very strange feeling, but I did that for like 3 months. Just partied, man. You know, drank a lot of alcohol, smoked a lot of cigarettes, and yeah, I partied and was like, yeah, I'm free. This is great. China's the greatest country in the world. I actually said those words. I said to people that I know back in the States, I said, China is the greatest country in the world. I said that. Okay. And now here we are 4 years later. And well, what's changed? Let's see. Was I actually able to get rid of all my responsibilities? You know? Let's see how well did that philosophy hold up for me. Let's see. What do I have now? Well, I've got $50,000 of medical debt. My own medical debt from when I had some problems with my balls. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but let's just say I had problems, and the problems were with my balls. That cost me several $1,000s. And then my wife had a herniated disc in her back. Oh yeah, I got married too. Did I mention that? Oh yeah, you know what? I feel like I need to back up. So my wife, yeah, I got married, and my wife had a herniated disc in her back that may or may not have been due to the pregnancy. Oh yeah, oh I forgot, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I also had a baby in Shanghai, and that was very expensive too. So I had a baby, that was expensive. I got married, that was really expensive. And my wife had surgery. I had some problems with my balls, that was really expensive. And so now I got like 50,000, and that's the debt that I have left, okay? This debt has been around for a while. So yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think I did a good job of escaping from responsibilities? This is the thing. The idea about, you know, this romantic kind of concept of using travel as a means to live a different kind of life than other people is really kind of stupid if you think about it, because it's just a thinly veiled excuse to not be responsible for the choices that you've made in the past, or to not have to have the responsibility of making any serious choices or decisions in the future. That's what it really is. That's what it boils down to. You know, it's like, oh, I want to be a nomad. You know, I want to be a digital nomad and make money on the road or whatever. I want to just live in poverty. I want to be an ascetic and live among the trees that the Buddha was enlightened under. You know, I want to do all this. I want to just sort of, you know, live a different life than what's traditional by society, by evil society. Always trying to hold me down, you know? So all those things are really just very, very, very superficial attempts to not be responsible. It's the truth. And you know, I know maybe there are potential travelers that are watching this, or God forbid, travelers that have been motivated by my other videos to do the same thing that I did. You know, like, oh yes, you know, somebody watched that video where I said, you should get up and quit your job and sever your relationships and travel the world like I did. And you know, there were people that watched it and were like, I should do that, that's a good idea. And they quit their jobs and like severed their relationships and went to travel the world. And now they're in the same boat that I am. Bitter, stuck, in debt, married, a baby, you know. I don't want you to think that I think those things are bad. I love my wife, I love my baby, you know, like, I'm not saying that it's bad that I have those things. What I'm saying is the original plan that was never stated but was always obviously implied to anyone with a brain in their head that knew me was that I just wanted to get rid of all of my bad decisions in the past and start a new life without responsibilities. But you know, all that I ended up doing was gathering more responsibilities. And do you know why? Because that's human nature. That's what people do, right? Like, people want to have those things because that's what being an individual is all about. The relationships that you have, the things that you own, the choices that you make, the jobs that you keep, those are things that connect together to form your identity. So when somebody wants to be a lonely, weary traveler of the world, what they really want is this kind of pre-packaged identity that's really impossible to have, because your identity is made up of so much more than just, oh, I'm a lonely, solitary traveler. You know, like, it's such a romantic idea. Sure, it sounds nice. And I'm drawn to that, you know. I still am drawn to that. I still think sometimes, like, man, I could just go to like Thailand or something and just with a couple $1,000s and just backpack around, you know? And it sounds so romantic still, but I know the reality of it now. If you are a human being, if you're not a sociopath and you're a human being and you have feelings, the natural tendency is to make connections with other people. And when you make connections with other people, you solidify your your standing within whatever environment that you're in. So you make connections in Shanghai, you sort of cement yourself there in Shanghai. Even if you leave, you know, there's still this kind of like, you're always digging yourself into this hole of stability. Even if you're trying not to. The only really way I think that you could do that, to, you know, that romantic thing where you just are free of attachments and free of responsibility, aside from being a sociopath or someone who just doesn't care about relationships at all, is just jump from one place to another place to another place and never stay and never make connections, or only make very superficial connections. But my thing was, I wanted to do this long-term travel. I wanted to come, you know, live in Shanghai for a year, go to Europe and live somewhere for a year. I lived in Nepal for a year. You know, like, I wanted to do this long-term travel thing. And I'm traveling right now. I mean, I just sort of got stuck in China. I sort of got stuck.
Yeah.
Hi, yes. Ni hao. Did you want to say hi? Did you want to ask me a question? Some See, they want to look. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day. He stopped and he looked at me like he really wanted to talk to me, but he doesn't speak English, so like, and I don't speak Chinese, so it doesn't really work out too well. Whatever. What was I saying? I'm just saying that, look, you know, this is the antithesis to that other video that I made. That sometimes I feel guilty because I've actually gotten messages from people that have been inspired by that video, that said that they want to do the same thing, or that they have done the same thing. And I think, look, the reality is you can start a new life, okay? And you can, even if you wanted to, I guess you could never go back to your home country. You could essentially, I mean, you're never gonna like erase your debt. I haven't. Or you're never gonna erase your past relationships, but you can sort of ignore them until you're dead. Okay, you can do that. And you can start a new life. But it's like, you know, what I said earlier about taking the Nintendo game out and putting it back in. I mean, the whole nomadic human that never has connections and is always moving, it's like if you take the Nintendo game out and you just never put it back in. And what's the point of that? You know? Like, why would you do that? The whole point of life is to play the game. You don't have to play anybody else's game. You can play your own game. But if you do put it back in and you push the button and you select your mode or whatever, eventually you're gonna come across things that you have to communicate with, and you're gonna make connections, and you're gonna start to sink into the ground of evil stability. And it happens really, really fast, you know? I came to Shanghai, I partied for 3 months, I met my wife. 5 months later, I was married. 9 months later, I had a baby girl. And now I'm here and I'm telling you this story as a cautionary tale, okay? And again, I don't want you to think that I'm not happy about where my life went. But what I want to say is that do not let yourself fall into that illusion that you're gonna be able to just hit reset and completely get rid of your responsibility to the universe as a human being. Because you're never gonna be able to do it. It's impossible. It's irresponsible and it's stupid. You know? It killed Chris McCandles. And it could kill you too. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't travel. Hey, if you want to travel the world, you know, by all means, do it. I said this in my last video, that the decision to leave was the best decision that I ever made in my life, but I made it for the wrong reasons. I'm glad I did it, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep traveling. You know, once I get out of this rut that I'm in with the money, I'm gonna get out of China. I'm gonna take the wife and the baby and we're gonna travel. I'm gonna make videos and show you guys, and you guys are gonna subscribe to my channel and you're gonna give my videos big thumbs up. Okay? Anyway, my voice is hoarse. You hear that? I just poured my heart and soul out to you. I hope you're happy. Thank you for watching Triad Travelogues. I'm Richard. Man, this was a negative video, huh? This was so negative. I'll see you next time.